And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, hello and welcome to everyone. It is the Weighing In Podcast, and we are ready to talk about all kinds of fights. We had fights from Belfast, Ireland with Bellator. We did have a UFC at the Apex with Rose Namajunas getting a decision win over Amanda Ribas. My man, you're sitting there with your beanie on. You're not going to be able to wear the beanie long. It's getting hot in Texas.
It is getting
hot,
hot in
tell
Texas.
you.
But then you know what? When it gets hot in Texas, the air conditioning comes on.
Thank God for air
We've got a lot to talk about. You're right, but let's talk about Josh the Goat Thompson, baby. Josh the Goat Thompson. Dave, can you pull up that video from Big John's Instagram? Come on, man. I want everyone to see how cute Josh the Goat Thompson is. He's going to have a whole farm full of Joshes the Goats, Josh the Pork, Josh.
It might be Josh Alina.
Josh, whatever. Is it a girl?
It's a girl.
Yeah, whatever. It can still be. I'll call her Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua Woo. Yeah, whatever.
All of a sudden, man, all of a sudden she goes, parkour.
Look at that. Look at that. Ah, that's awesome. She's a beast.
Oh,
you said she's two times bigger than she was when you got her 2 weeks ago. She's grown from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was eating because you got to bottle feed them the whole time at the most an ounce and a half.
Jeez.
Every time. So maybe 4 ounces a day. Now she drinks 6 ounces at a time, man. She's a beast. She's just rocking it up there. But not like Josh the Pork.
No, Josh the Pork.
Josh the Pork
King
is about 275, 300 pounds now.
King of the farm.
He'll kick your ass.
King of the farm, buddy. King of the farm. I mean, would we expect anything else? Come on.
He's a lightweight no longer.
No. I mean, when you got him, I don't even think he was he a lightweight when you got him?
Oh, he was a lightweight then. Yeah, he was flyweight.
He was flyweight, 125.
Yeah, oh.
He was shorter than that, right? You were telling me about 50
like
pounds.
40 pounds.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, once I start eating, man, I can put the weight on for sure. I mean, that's I don't know if that's a Mexican thing in me, but man, I can put some weight on. I start eating, man, I'll sit down and crush 10 tacos, no problem. The street tacos all day long.
Street tacos, hello.
Yeah, I can't wait to come visit the farm because I want to have your daughter make me some tacos. I've heard they're the best,
dude.
but
you will not. You're gonna go. Oh shit!
She better have more than 10 for me though. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, she will pack on the tacos on you, man. I tell you what, to the point. I mean, it's because she'll make me a plate and it'll have like 6 or 7 tacos. I said, geez, hey, I can't eat that many.
Oh.
And then she'll all of a sudden throw another one on there. And I was like,
John.
and I have no willpower. I can't stop.
John, we know you can eat that much.
Yeah.
John, we know. They don't call you Big John for nothing. You didn't get big by just, eating small portions, buddy. No. Don't lie. I bet the
tacos will do it.
Dad probably hated the fact he had to feed your big ass.
Oh, dude.
He was like, what the hell, man? I got to feed this guy? What is going on? Jeez. What else? What else is there? What else? Other action? Dave, I pulled up some stuff on some in the news category. Where's the news category at?
I went through it.
You went through it a little bit?
Yeah, he didn't like anything you threw up there.
Really nothing since the UFC lost it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I did notice I sent you Ariel Helwani had this thing like 1.0 Bjorn era, 2.0 Coker Viacom era, 3.0 PFL era, like in terms of the breakdowns of how the things going or whatever. And I just noticed a couple of the things that says these guys suck. Bring back Josh and Big John. I want to thank you guys for those great comments. I'm serious, man. People just read it.
So
I like everyone.
But it's so funny because, I was just Dan Cormier, when you're working for the UFC, you don't get a whole lot of, they don't blast you a lot as far as the fans because, everything's the best. And that's good. And so Dan's used that. Well, then he does the wrestling for the NC2As and he got
hammered.
Murdered.
He got murdered.
And he's to the point he says, I'm not doing it again. And it's like, Dan, it's okay, man. You did fine. Okay. You put in your style. That's great. There's nothing wrong with it. You're a fun guy. You had kind of fun with freaking Jordan Burroughs there and stuff. You guys laughed and stuff. Not everyone's going to like you. And it's just what it is. There's going to be people that really like it, and there's going to be people that go, "You're the worst. You suck." It's like, why are you listening to that?
He's not listening to it. He's not listening to it. He will comment on things, and I saw the comments.
I was like, Dan, you're way better than that.
DC's a fucking legend. Like he can. Yeah. People are jealous. They fucking bite on him because they're jealous of what he's done after his wrestling career. You know, I mean, he came up short at the Olympics. You know, once actually. The second time just wasn't able to compete. But bottom line is, people were
he came up short twice.
But people were upset the fact that he's become something so next level that they haven't done, and they just want to fucking rag on him. That's one. Two is, look, I grew up wrestling, and I've kind of gotten away from watching the NC2As, but in high school, I know, like not high school, more college, was watching more of the NC2As. Look. The bottom line is wrestling is kind of stuck in this blah. They need guys like DC. Now, I'm not saying it has to be DC. They need guys like DC. You need guys with some personality, guys that can go out there and actually make it entertaining. They're still, and nothing against the commentator they have, man, but it's still fumbling over questions, still not getting it. Like, been doing it forever. And I'm not calling any names out, but I'm simply saying it just comes down to they need new flavor. And, and I'm not saying they should get rid of anyone. I'm saying, but add in the spice. And I thought they did a good job bringing Jordan Burroughs in. I thought they did a good job bringing DC in. I think that's important. DC is more popular than anybody else on that whole thing.
Hell so yeah.
You bring more eyeballs when you have an opportunity to have DC on there. They need to be having him on there every second they can. Shit, even hire him to do more stuff for it, not just at the college level. I mean, I would say mainly at the college level, because that inspires those young athletes to make money after fight or after wrestling to get into fighting if they want. All they need is a little poke. All they need is a little bit of reinforcement that they can do it. And I'm being honest, a lot of those guys, they want to fight afterwards. They don't know how to really get into it, and where to go in the right direction without jumping into a manager, jumping into a gym that's like not the right fit and feeling committed to it and all those things. But I saw that Bo Nickel took a little jab at Jordan Burroughs too.
Boy, he did.
Yeah, easy, Bo. Yeah. Easy, buddy.
I'm like, what the hell? I just didn't get it. Yeah. It's like, I thought they were entertaining. They covered what was going on in the match. What more do you want?
Yeah.
I just looked at it. I was really surprised that Dan said that, I'm done. That's it. I was like, Dan,
he's not done.
You're not a quitter.
He's not done.
You're not a quitter. You're not going to do that.
No,
Come
Dan's
on,
not done. DC loves wrestling way too much to just to listen to anybody to walk away from.
He loves wrestling more than MMA.
Absolutely. It's not even close.
By far.
Not close. Yeah. And it's not just that he's a nerd in the wrestling area, but it's just he has a connection with, and that's one thing about coaching. He has a connection with these young kids that keeps him ingrained in what is going on in the come-ups for wrestling. And he loves these young kids, man. I've seen him in the restroom. He kind of beats them down a little bit.
Hold on. Look at what he's done with the school.
Yeah, I know. Well, the school was good before. Let's not get mistaken.
I know they were good.
But he didn't let it slide. You know how hard it is to keep a team going and keeping them motivated. And also, it wasn't just that he kept the kids motivated, is that even because he couldn't be there for a lot of the times. So what he did is he made sure he had guys like Deron Wing, Kyle Crutchmere. Yeah. He's got great wrestlers that surround him. Jesse Delgado. I mean, kids that are just fantastic wrestlers. They come in and help out and help their team grow and make sure that they're there to push these young men. I mean, and young women, by the way. He's got some really good young women on that team, man. Really good wrestlers. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in I think he had two state champs this year. He had 4 in the finals, I believe. It was 2 state champs this year and 4 in the finals.
Dude, you had 2 state champs at one school. You're doing all right.
In California.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
You're doing just fine. Yeah, he's not losing his job anytime soon. And what I like is he built his wrestling camp studio. It's not a studio. It's like 10,000 square feet. But he built a spot there right down the street from the high school that he coaches at. So those kids that live in the area can just make sure they all come. He's got kids coming in from all around the world to train in his facility. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. He's doing a great job, and this definitely won't be the last time we see him at the NC2As. Get the hell out of here.
I was just like, come on,
He's-
what are you doing, dude?
People don't realize DC is someone that like he lets all this stuff slide off of his back. He doesn't let.
There's some things that
Yeah.
you know and I know that has not slid off.
No,
his back.
I get it.
And it's like, people know where they can kind of get at him and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. I just look at it. Hey, if you don't like what he does, then don't listen.
Yeah.
But try it yourself. Let's see how good you are.
Yeah. I saw something with Gordon Ryan the other day. There was a restaurant in Austin that like kicked somebody out or asked them to leave or stop talking the way they were talking because, they didn't like it. The restaurant owners came out and Gordon Ryan came out and said like, basically, I'm going to make this big long post and there's different ways to approach that. If you don't like that service, then just don't go to that place anymore. But he thought it was very rude of the owner or the manager of the restaurant or whatever to ask him and his friend or whatever to not say certain things. And and he's like, it was a private conversation. Like people shouldn't be listening to our conversation anyways. They should be having their own. Maybe they should get off their phones. And anyways, it was. But if you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can go check it out. It's on Gordon Ryan's Instagram. But I mean, it's very similar to this. Like, we don't have to listen. If you don't like him, don't listen to him. That's how it goes.
That's it.
Everyone's so offended these days. Gotta stop, man.
Oh,
It drives me crazy. Drives me absolutely nuts.
See, but this is why I know you read the comments.
I absolutely
And I
do.
go,
I do.
I don't care.
I know you don't care. I read them because like sometimes I'm bored and I have fun. I write back, but and there's times where I find it kind of entertaining. Someone's like so off the wall, and this is the thing. It's John. The number one troll job of people that sit at home and drink beer from their couch and tell us how to fight, and their first comment is always, "Man, the CTE is strong in that one." Like.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, we should say that about every football player. I mean, every boxer, every MMA guy,
every athlete that's done any type of contact sport.
wrestling.
Let's just be honest.
Wrestling for sure.
Lacrosse. Football.
Have you not seen when the wrestlers at the NC2As walk off the mat, tape around their eyeball and their head, like they're cuts, they get stitched up. They're fixing the head trauma by just banging heads, getting after each other.
That's it.
You think the double leg, you think you got these cauliflower ears just because someone rubbed on my ear? No, it's from us hitting the double and trying to turn the corner and using our ear and hitting the hip bone and elbows catching it. That's what it comes from. You're banging your ears so hard against someone's hip or elbow or head and it's just constantly grinding. Come on, guys. All right, look, we've gone on a big enough tangent on all this other stuff.
Have we though?
Yes. John, yes, we have. Look, guys, I want to say thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below. Appreciate you guys following us. And, I read the comments, man. You guys loved the last show. We were kind of flowing. We had a good flow, I guess. Must have been fire. Must have been fire. Good stuff. Good stuff. Make sure you guys are sharing our content as well. I really would appreciate that. And lets everyone know that we're out here doing our business and doing the best we can. I would like to try and bring back the weighing in on the odds. I think we got to start trying to do that. I'm going to try reaching. I'm going to try I think we should start doing that at least for the pay-per-views. I think because there's a lot of take on what we should be doing, but there's a lot of good bets last night that we could have done. Arosa, I think he was a plus 65 to win by submission. Just throw down $25 when you got odds like that, right? Just throw down $25. You come up well. Anyways, there's some fights down there. That you could have come up pretty big. But I think we got to bring back weighing in on the odds. Maybe we'll start touching on some of these that we can feel confident about talking about, so you guys can make a little extra money.
All right.
Yeah, come on, John.
All right.
Come on, John.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the UFC at the Apex. What number is this? 89.
See how fast podcast Dave was with that?
Boom.
Yeah. Answer. Boom. Nice job,
Dave.
Dave.
First for everything. Rose Namajunas versus Amanda Ribas. By the way, Amanda Ribas is on OnlyFans. You guys can check her out over there. That's another one. I just sent over a couple other people. Who else is on OnlyFans?
You did just send
Kamaru Usman's brother. Stipe Miocic is on OnlyFans. I mean, all you guys that talk crap to us when we were the first ones on there saying like, hey, we're doing this because we're trying to get more athletes on there for you guys
Damn
to follow.
Trendsetters,
Yes.
Josh. We're trendsetters.
But, come on, give me some love. Okay, no cameras, no pictures. Okay, but just give me some love. Give me some love. But yeah, Stipe Miocic is on there. Kamaru Usman's brother is on there, Muhammad, and then Amanda Ribas is on there. Gosh, there's a couple others. But anyways, you guys can follow us at onlyfans.com/weighing-in, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. We are free. Okay, giving out some content for you guys over there for free. And we've been doing some lives, getting a lot of hits, getting a lot of conversation going on over there. So Rose Namajunas and Amanda Ribas, talk to me.
5 rounds, and we kind of thought that it could go into that 5-round period based upon both of them are very high output, but it really wasn't that high output. That was the one thing that was the difference. I think when I watch Rose, I'm just going to say she moves so well. You want to take and put a tape up of someone and say, okay, when you're moving your feet, this is what I want you to do. She's the one to do it. She has beautiful movement. She slides in. She, changes, the center point on her head, changes the level of her head, slides back out, comes back. And normally she's throwing 1, 2, 3s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, 1, 2, 3s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this one, she was throwing 1, 2s, 1, 2s, 1, 2s. And I look at it and, Ribas is a kind of, she doesn't have an even flow to the way she does things. She's kind of,
Keith Jardine.
Jerk. Yep. A little herky jerky. And so that'll, make it to where you don't want to overextend by throwing that extra shot and be out of position. But I also think part of it was that Rose is coming in off of the loss to Mano, and she just wanted to control the fight, get the win, be safe in the way she did it. She was. I thought she won 4 of the 5 rounds, and she looked good. She didn't look like the Rose that we see when she was fighting at strawweight. Still, as far as there is just a little bit of a difference, and I'm not going to say it's a speed difference because Amanda Ribas comes from the strawweights too. She jumps back and forth, and so she's fighting someone that same speed wise, I believe, and stuff, but it was the output was not at the high volume rate that we normally see out of a Rose Namajunas. But I thought she fought a really smart and well planned fight, and I thought she looked good.
It's always tough, John, to go up in weight and try to keep the same activity. So I think she's gonna it's gonna take some time for her to make that transition of having the same type of output she had at the 115 mark that she's trying to have at 125. I was texting you through the fight, and I'm like, she looks like a little bit tired, or just the output's not there, so it's making her look slower.
I didn't think she was tired. Yeah, I didn't think she was tired because she's breathing through her nose the whole time. You look at her when she gets to the corner, and you watch her diaphragm, and it's not sucking in air, and you look and you go, she's not tired. It's just the volume of what she was putting out was not what I think you expected, not kind of what I expected. But I kind of look and I go, I can understand it based upon coming in saying, I need a win.
Yeah.
I need to get that number next to my name because, look, she was in the blue corner, meaning Ribas had the better standing in the flyweight division. So she's looking to go up, and that's what she did. So Ribas is a fantastic, young fighter, though. She's fun to watch. I love her attitude towards fighting. I love her attitude towards her opponent and competition. She wasn't able to touch Rose enough to get it done in this one.
Yeah, I thought she would have been thrown a little more caution to the wind and try to really walk her down with bigger shots and more combinations. Instead, she threw 1, 1, 2. I think what happened, though, was early in that first round, Rose caught her with a couple big shots. And it kind of set her back going, oh, wow, she actually does have some pop. It wasn't enough to sit her down on her butt, but it was enough to to remind her to respect her. I also think with Rose, I think somewhere along the 4th round, she got a second wind. Because if you go back and you watch the 4th round, she got a second wind. The 2nd round, she started looking a little just, I don't know. Like I said, I felt tired. Yeah. Almost like her arms felt heavy. She was pushing them out there instead of just letting them relax and fly out. And you know the difference. When fighters are when fighters are trying to load up or when fighters are really trying to get it out there fast and hard, it comes out slower. It just looks more lethargic. And that's what I was seeing last night, along with my takeaway when I was texting was she's throwing one, maybe 1-2. And that was killing me. It was killing me. Watching because she's a 3-4-5 puncher. I mean, the combinations she can hit you with and then mix it up with the kicks. I didn't see a lot of kicks last night either. I think maybe she was kind of afraid to get taken down, but I didn't see a ton of kicks last night.
And I mean, I look at that and you say she was, kind of afraid to get taken down. And you look at every time they got, for the most part, especially early in the fight, they get into a clinch situation. Ribas hits the freaking head and arm toss. She rolls through, comes out on top. Same with, when they go in the other situation, she goes for a knee bar. She, pushes right out of it. No problem or anything. And you look and you go, Rose,
what are you scared of?
Your goddamn ground game's good. There's nothing to be scared of. I'm not saying that you're going to always be able to get out of the situation or reverse the situation. That might not happen, but believe in it because it's good.
Especially in a 5-round fight. I mean, if you give up one takedown, you got plenty of time to get it back. And if you don't get up, you have 4 more rounds or 3 more rounds.
I look at her, she reminds me, and I know this is a strange comparison, but you look at her and you think, she's a straight, stand-up fighter. She's like Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
And you look at Donald Cerrone and, everyone looked at him. He's a stand-up fighter. He had a great ground game.
Phenomenal.
He had a great ground game. And so does she. And, and they're very similar in their ability to, they obviously, I'm going to be honest. You want to take a look, Cowboy's a little stiffer compared to her. She's, she just flows. She just does everything very well. Technically, she's got it, and it's just it's a matter of, I don't know, who they're going to put her against in the next one. I know, what she asked for and stuff, but she just needs to get that confidence.
Who'd she ask for?
Well, she kind of asked for Manel Ferro again, based upon if she gets the win against.
Let sleepy dogs lie, man. I hate. Don't go back.
You don't need that one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I look at it and it's like, if you look at, the people, she did say something about Macy Barber, and I think that'd be a great fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Macy
take
Barber
it.
and her would be a great fight.
No, I would take the Macy Barber fight. That'd be a fun fight. We'd have to see. Macy Barber's gonna have to push forward, kind of do what Amanda Ribas should have done, and she's gonna do it. She's gonna come aggressive.
Well, Macy's a little more aggressive as far as when she goes. She really goes, all in. And I look at it and see, right now Macy's at number 4. That's what you want to do. You just take that next step up. Take the next step up.
I mean,
keep on fighting these people that are ahead of you that way. So.
Art Ferro and Blanchfield, are they fighting? Is that what's next
week?
That's next week. So when that fight's
from New Jersey.
Yeah. So when that fight's done, maybe she fights the winner of that.
Could be because it's they're only a week apart.
Yeah, I think they may try to keep Macy Barber away from everyone. They seem to be pretty high on her, and I said this. I don't know how many times I've said this. They like her. That she's still young. What is she like?
There's a lot there to like, though.
And she's
when you watch her fight, you listen to her talk.
Her confidence is back. She was going through a little rough phase there for a second. Now she snapped out of it, and she's got something. She's 25 years old. I got plenty of time to market you. I got plenty of time to help you grow. And to push a lot of money into you and make you popular. That's the best way of explaining it. So she's got something, man. She has that it factor in the female department in terms of, fighting styles. I'm looking forward to it. I think they'll keep Rose probably away from her. I think Rose may end up fighting the winner of the other one, and maybe Macy fights the winner of that tournament. No, not tournament, but but the tough finale thing. The Ultimate Fighter. I could see that happening.
It's one of those. They both have wins over Amanda Ribas now, so it's
true.
Like,
true.
That's only one fight ago for Macy Barber, so I don't know. We'll see. But nice win by Rose. I think she's got her confidence coming back, and she looked good. She looked like she actually was happy after the fight and enjoyed it. So that's good to see.
Why does Pat Barry get so much hate?
I don't know. I really don't. He's a great guy. He's a crazy dude, but he's a really just a good person.
Why are people so salty on him? Like being in the corner,
I think a lot of people look at it like he has slowed her career down.
I mean, she's
she's
beaten two of, you could say, arguably the two GOATs of the strawweight division.
I agree. No doubt about it.
I mean, and then,
but I think you look at it, Dave, pull up Rose Namajunas' record here. Because I think if what you're looking at is you can go back, because I did her fight against Joanna, the first one, back. I mean, that was in.
It was kind of an early stoppage.
Yeah, I just let her get knocked down twice with the same shot. But that was back in 2017, and then she, had the rematch with her in 2018. One fight in 2018, one fight in 2019, one fight in 2020. She had the two with Weili Zhang in 2021, and then the Esparza was in 2022. So one fight a year. Mm. And that is unusual. When you take a look at somebody with her record, as far as, she's has 18 fights now? Yeah. 18 pro fights. I mean, it's not common. It's common when you're, the champ to maybe sometimes have the one fight a year. So I can look at it when she was champ and say it, but still, in a way, she's in that position where I could see where people are saying, well, she's letting her career go by. They're blaming it on Pat. I can't tell you why they're blaming it on Pat, but yeah. She believes in him. He believes in her. That's all I know.
Yeah, you gotta leave that stuff alone, man. Oh, yeah. Relationship wise, all that other stuff. Look, she obviously feels very comfortable with him, and being in the corner, even just in their relationship, whatever it is. But one thing you can say,
look, the other person she had in her corner is Jake Robles. Mm-hmm. And Jake is a good coach. Jake used to coach like Brandon
Moreno.
God, no. From he had the 3 fights with Derek Campos in Bellator. Oh man, I've lost my freaking
Brandon Gertz.
Brandon.
I told you guys, man, my mind's not slipping. I don't have CTE. It's John. Yeah, he's gathered.
There it is.
After dealing with me, he stole it from me.
He was, that was where I met, Jacob from, was him coaching, he's got a load of good guys, and he's been coaching Rose here, and he's a great coach. So it's not like she just has Pat Barry too. She's got a great coach in Jake Robles. So,
all right, Carl Williams versus Justin Taffa. I want to apologize. You and I got the name wrong last week.
Yes, we did. Yep, I was going to say, well, I got this one wrong because I said, "Oh my God, it's the brother again." No, it wasn't.
Guys, calm down, okay?
See, that's why I don't read comments.
Doesn't it's so funny because they can pick one little thing and they all rush to the comments. You guys got this thing wrong. We're also we are sitting in front of a computer, but I'm not looking things up as we go. Yes, John.
Yeah. I'm not seeing faces. So here's the one thing. So when when the first person says you got that wrong, that's all we need.
Dude, it was
you don't need to put it in.
The great part is there was one that said it was his brother, and then all of a sudden there was 26 comments replies below it. I'm like, you don't need to reply to this. We're all on the same page. Yeah, they got it wrong. Yep. They always get this shit wrong.
Look at that. They're so bad.
Gosh, guys. Sorry, not all of us just watch UFC. Okay, we try to watch all the other fights and stuff. So. Oh man. All right, guys. I love you guys. Keep supporting us. We appreciate it. And we're very thankful. Carl Williams versus Justin Taffa. Tough fight.
What'd you think?
Tough fight for Taffa, man.
He had it.
Yeah.
He had him hurt multiple times, but he couldn't keep himself being taken down. And it's one of those, hey, I've seen Justin Taffa be able to stop the takedown. Carl Williams is a good wrestler. As far as his takedowns, that's what he's lived off, since starting his MMA career. And he made it work for him, because if he wasn't able to get Taffa down, he was going to get starched. Yeah, but he made it happen. He made it happen every time that he had to. Even when he was hurt, he got that takedown, and he was able to maintain control on top and stuff. So, hard pressed win for Carl Williams. You got to look at those. Those are not easy.
No, but
those are not easy wins. Those are not easy fights, and those build character. So he's getting better.
It also helped that it was in the Apex cage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like he fell forward one time. I'm getting clipped one of those times. He fell right into it, like into the double leg, into the single leg. And then when you fall forward, you got two big men, and the cage is only so far apart, and they fall forward. They pretty much fall on you right into the cage, like how John did with me at one time in the Bellator cage. He just fell forward, and like all of a sudden, I was just trapped underneath him. Like a big oak tree fell on me. Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson.
Well, we talked about it. Edmund being at Extreme Couture, everyone's talking about. He's training hard. He's doing good. He's always sparring with guys like Sean Strickland. He's been sparring with guys like Johnny Eblin and stuff. And look, he's a tough kid, man. He's a tough guy who he'll go in there and he'll throw, but he gets hurt, and it's one of those, he gets hurt easier now than he did in the past. So he's really got to think about getting his head off the damn center line at times, because he starts to march down and you watch him and he starts to throw hard and his head stays on the center line. Then all of a sudden he's thinking about it and it's like, oh, whoop, and he takes his head off. But it's like, it's got to be all the time. It's got to be all the time. And I give him credit, man. He got rocked. He got hurt. He fought his way through it. AJ Dobson was looking really good, and it's one of those things that, power is something that you either have it or you don't. And it's a matter of, it sure is nice when even something that doesn't look that good lands and has an impact. It can change the fight with one shot. And I'm not going to say that I thought AJ was doing good and he was winning that round. He was winning the round, not, oh my God, just destroying him, but he was winning it. And the one shot, it changed everything. And then when he got him on the ground, dude, 2 shots, he was out. So very nice win by Shabazi.
When I watched the replay on it, because it looked like it didn't look like a clean shot. I was like, but he actually hit him with the forearm.
Yeah.
He didn't hit him clean with the punch. Yeah, he didn't get him with the knuckles, didn't get him with a clean shot. He kind of just clubbed him with his forearm. That was a nice, like more of the wrist and into the forearm, and that knocked him off balance. And then when he was able to jump on top of him right away, he landed some clean shots from the top, and it was over. And I thought it was I wouldn't say it was a late stoppage, but it could have came a second.
It was a little.
Could have been a second sooner.
It's tough, but it's
is.
like, I'm nothing against. Well, I think it was Mark Smith. But
Mark's getting a little older in age, a little long in the tooth, Takes a little bit longer to get in there and stop the fight.
Is that what it is?
Understand.
Hey, it hurts when you get hit. You got to make sure that you're not going to get hit.
I noticed that when you were getting older and when I fought Patricky, it took you an extra 2 shots for you to get in there. You let me take the damage.
Oh, you lying some bitch,
man. You were probably afraid to throw your hip out.
I probably was.
But let's not talk about old guys. Let's talk about the young bucks, man. Peyton Talbot versus Cameron Simon.
Boy,
Talbot is
going into this. We were talking about Talbot and said, "Hey, that kid's good."
He is.
I thought he was a little bit cocky going into his first fight, and the first round didn't look too good. And then he turned it on in the second one and just took over and won it. But this one, damn, Josh, from the beginning, everything he threw landed,
and it hurt.
Everything looked good.
It hurt, Cameron.
Dude. That knee that hit Simon in the beginning, it was solid. That thing hit it, you could hear the crack. And from that point, Cameron Simon was fighting uphill. He was struggling to grab hold of anything he could to hold on. And
I feel like Cameron Simon needs to take some time off.
I agree.
This is what I think. Dave, can you pull up Cameron Simon? Because I want to see how old he is. I think he's 22? Look this up. 23. I'm not saying he should take a long period off, but he needs to spend some time in the gym. And now I know he looks in one of these pictures, he looks ripped and shredded. But if you look at his body and physique and how full they were after the weight cut, Talbot looked way bigger. He just looked fuller. He filled back out, and you could just tell every time he threw a shot and it landed, it rocked Cameron Simon. It rocked him. It hurt him. It made him move backwards. It knocked him off balance. Even if it didn't hurt him, it made him take a step back, or it kind of made him lose his footing. Everything had an effect on him. It's almost like he's got all the skills. That's not the problem. Almost like a Shabazian. He's got all the skills. They're just not men yet. And everyone tells me this is a young man's sport, but no, it's not. It's the prime of your career sport is where it is.
There you go.
27, 28, 29, 30, and on up. It's very rare you're going to find someone like a John Jones at 24, 25 years old being a world champion. It's super rare. He's a freak. You know what I mean? So like this kid has got all the tools and he can take a shot. He took some nasty shots and there's no quitting him. He kept trying to fight, but he's just not a man yet. He hasn't filled into being a man yet. And I'm not trying to knock him at all. I just don't want to see him ruined before
he's a good young fighter.
He's absolutely good.
I mean, he is a good fighter. It's just a matter of in this one, you know those fights where you watch a guy and you know he's good, but he is a full step behind his opponent every bit of the fight. And you just watched how Peyton Talbot was walking forward, just nice and relaxed, and give a little head move, and hit him and light him up with the kick or the punch or the knee. And it was like, damn, he can't miss. And Simon was, one of those things, and you're looking, I'm going, this kid's doing everything he can to figure out, how do I stop this? How do I, slow it down? He's trying. It just wasn't there.
No.
But you're right. He is a good fighter. And I just think he should take some time, especially after that was when we talk about concussions, he was fighting. He doesn't remember much of that fight.
Nope. I don't believe
Not
so
after
either.
that knee.
Good young fighter, though. I mean, I want to see him back in there, but I feel like sometimes taking some time away and just understanding like, hey, I can spend some more time in the gym lifting, spend some more time, putting some weight on, the proper weight, the lean weight, and also then developing that weight by hitting mitts, running sprints, making the fast twitch muscles, keeping all my speed and my activity. That takes time, and it's so funny because it takes sometimes longer to put the weight on than it does like to put on proper weight than it does for like us fighters to lose the weight. Like everyone's, I'm going to diet down. I'm going to get down to the next, man, that stuff's easy compared to trying to gain the weight. For fighters, I'm trying to keep weight on.
Gaining weight is easy. Gaining good weight is not.
And so I look forward to seeing him. He's a young stud. I think he'll be the future. I think he's up there. He'll be one of those fighters can be the future of that bantamweight division. But right now, Peyton Talbot is kind of like a step or two ahead of him in that future step because
there's something about that kid. He's got it. He's got that young surfer look. He's just kind of like,
which is funny because he's from Reno.
I know.
There ain't nothing there's nothing to do up there, John, but do meth, fight, and fuck. That's it.
That's it.
So, I mean, it looks like he took the fighting in the fucking.
Hopefully he's got two of those down and he's leaving the other one to the side. But
he looks good, man.
I'm telling you, the kid he's going to be something.
Yeah, he looks good. Where does he train at?
Dude, I don't know. He trains out there in Reno.
I think Lowell Anderson is in Reno.
Was Lowell in Reno? He was up in Montana area.
Oh, I know he was in Idaho. He was in Boise.
He was in Idaho
for a while. Yeah, he was in Idaho. He was in Boise that whole time when he fought John Lewis and those guys. John Lewis in the UFC. But I think he's in Reno now because his two boys used to train with me. And one of his boys lives down here now in DFW, and his other boy lives back in San Jose. Both of them have their own little training centers that they train at. So good for them, man. Good for them. Peyton Talbot, do we see the UFC start to slow play him now in terms of let's not give him anyone that might try to beat him? He is marketable. He's got a good look to him.
I don't know. Did you hear who he wanted to fight?
Who did he say?
Dominic Cruz.
They're not giving that dude Dom. Dom's not taking that fight.
I don't think Dom would take.
No, he won't. It's like, why would I take that guy?
Yeah,
I get it. Good.
But-
That's a good call out for you to get some.
It's a great call
some
out.
name on,
Oh.
get some. Go to the rankings there at 135 for me, please, Dave.
I think Dominic is still somewhere.
Oh
around
yeah, he's
10.
number 12.
Is he 12? Okay.
Man, I don't know. That's a horrible division to be fighting people, man.
It is.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm like,
It
bro,
is.
you might be out of luck. Number 6 is Henry Cejudo. Shit, like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Number 15 is Pedro
Yeah,
Munoz.
right.
He's 15.
14 is Jonathan Martinez.
Jesus.
Batista's 13. Man, Cruz is 12. Kyler Phillips. Umar's
Yep.
10. Man, hard pass.
Dude, it's just a bunch of killers.
Yeah.
That's why I say bantamweight right now. Across the board.
That's crazy.
Toughest. Unbelievably skilled.
All right, back to the fights.
All right, we had Yusuf Zalal going up against Billy Quarantillo. This is one of those ones. Billy's always been super tough. Yusuf was coming back to the UFC. He had been in the UFC. He was a young prospect. Everyone was saying how fast he was, how good he was. You know, the whole Moroccan descent, all the kickboxing stuff, and just ended up making mistakes in fights that led him down bad situations, and he would get submitted and stuff. Man, I'll tell you what. If you were going to tell me that Zalal was going to submit Billy Q with a rear naked, I would say you're nuts.
Yeah.
You may knock him out. It's a possibility. But he's not going to. Yep. He submits him. He looked good everywhere. He was in control of that fight basically from the beginning. You know, Billy's never that guy that you look at that he's the faster, quicker guy. He just puts pressure on you to the point he starts to break it. Couldn't do it, man.
Yeah.
Zalal was just in control too much. In the second round, boom.
Billy's a Josh Thomson. Like the first round gets away from him, but then he comes back second and third round. Yeah, that's what he does. And Zalal just had his number. Everything he was doing on the feet wasn't landing. Zalal was landing everything he threw. Had an answer for everything.
Yeah.
I think he was a plus
Nice win.
350. Zalal, because he got the submission. He was plus 350, and Arosa was like plus 650 or something to get the submission win.
Fernando Padilla, man, he looked good. I like that kid. He does not look,
No.
especially when he puts that silly hat on. He does not look like a fighter, but the kid can fight his ass off. And that was a nice Darce. Just the way he set it up, used the fence, And then he even said it, he goes and he says, "Oh, I had the fence, so I just use it like the floor." Yep. Very nicely done. Puts a lot of pressure on him. Gets the win.
I thought the choke was great, but what I liked before that was when he dropped him.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way he did it, the way the camera angle hit it, you couldn't really tell unless you were paying attention. He got hit with the shot, but then still stepped off line and then turned and counter with his straight shot. And it was beautifully done. Then jumped on top and did the business. But man, he looked fantastic in that transition and that exchange on how he was able just to he got hit and his back kind of hit the fence, near the fence. And he stepped out as he did that and landed a clean straight shot and sat him down, then jumped on top, did some nasty work on top. And then they got back and then got up to the choke. And it was beautiful. Nicely executed. Nicely done. Fought very calm.
Beautifully done.
Calm and composed.
Yep.
John, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what?
I'm dealing with allergies right now. Sorry. I just got like
Trey Ogden against Kurt Hollabaugh. Look, Trey Ogden is I like Kurt Hollabaugh, but he's one of those guys that you look at not real fast.
Mhm.
Doesn't he's got a good jiu-jitsu game, but he can be stymied by certain guys.
Yeah.
Trey Ogden, strength wise, jiu-jitsu wise, stand up wise, he just was better than Kurt. He was just better all the way around, and it just showed in the fight where every time, every round, Trey Ogden just started to take over, get better positions, move to where he was in control of the fight, and Hollabaugh had no offense to actually give. He was always defending.
Mm-hmm. What was your take on Arosa versus Ramos?
I'll tell you what, Ramos wants a redo.
Yeah.
That's my take on it, and that's the story of Julian Erosa's career. You know, you go and you look at a lot of his fights. You know, he's a guy that he's a tough guy. He takes shots and he gets hurt though, and people see him get hurt, and we've seen him get put out, and we've seen him come back and do what he did to Ramos, and Ramos made the mistake thinking, you know, oh, I got him. Well, is that not what happened? Yeah. That's what happened. You know, and it's you gotta be, you know, cognizant of the fact, hey, once you let that guy back up on his feet, don't sit there and think that you can just do whatever and you're not going to get caught. The guillotine was the way he sunk it. It's tight. Yep. It was beautifully done, very well executed, and you could tell right away. Ramos was like, "Uh-oh," yeah. And then started trying to shake his, and it was like, "Uh-oh, you're not gonna." I thought for a second he might pop his head out, and I looked and I go, "I don't think he's gonna get his head out of that."
When you have someone hurt, you've got to pick and choose your shots and not rush into situations. And he rushed into a situation and left his neck hanging. Yeah, there is that old saying like that, you know, what wounded lions fight the hardest or something like that. Yeah. It's that wounded animal.
They're the most dangerous.
Yeah, they're the most dangerous because. Man, he was in a lot of trouble, Rosa was, and just was able to gather his wits and saw something that came to him because Ramos rushed things. And he left his neck in the wrong spot and it got taken.
Yep.
You've got to be you've got to slow play it sometimes. Like it's like those guys that they rock you on the feet. It could be in kickboxing, could be in boxing, and then they rush in and smother themselves so nothing really lands. Or they just flurry so long thinking they're going to get him out of there. And then they get hit with something because they weren't paying attention and they get knocked out. There's that as well.
True.
So, Miles Johns versus Cody Gibson.
Good fight. You know, both guys good wrestlers. I like the way Cody Gibson goes after, you know, the grappling part because he's always looking for submissions. He's going after things, you know, and everything. But Miles Johns did a nice job. You know, he controlled some, you know, good portion of the fight from the top position, and that's why he got the win. I do want to go the Jarno Aarons fight against Steve Wynn. Man, those guys fought their ass off. You know, I know it was a unanimous decision, and I know it was 30-27 across the board, but Steven Wynn fought his ass off in that thing. And he had moments where he had Aarons hurt, had him in trouble. Jarno Aarons came back. Jarno Aarons throws a beautiful straight right hand down the pipe, man. God damn, and it's fast. It's sharp. It's accurate. It's got power on it. That thing is beautiful when he executes it.
All right, let's jump on down to the bite.
All right. You know, I just looked at it and it was like, you know, I don't know what the frick De Silva was thinking. You know, when the whole situation
what's his
happened,
real name? Was it De Silva? They had a different name for him on the fight card.
Yeah, they did.
It's like Serranio or Sorrento or look up. It wasn't.
They had something else.
It wasn't that. It wasn't Igor De Silva. It was something else.
But anyways, let's go. Yeah. Let's get into that thing for a second because the odd part for me was first off he was actually winning the fight. It wasn't like he was losing.
Oh,
you know, it was.
You thought he was winning?
Oh yeah,
Igor Severino.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have him winning. It was close.
It's close. Okay. So it's not like he was, you know, you could put him a little bit ahead or you could put Lima a little bit ahead, but it's not like he was, you know, getting the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
All right. And then you look at Toglioni was stopping the fight based upon Lima grabbing the cage. You know, and Lima sits there and he's biting me. Right. And so, I love the commentary because it's like, oh, you know, it's like, and then they see the bite. Then it's like, you know, and you can see, you know, we've seen it before. What you'll see is there's times when people will do things like they'll put people in certain submissions where their head gets buried. And because of it, you know, they're in a triangle or something like that. You know, they have the leg is pressing on their bottom teeth. And so you'll see their teeth on the person. That's you creating that pressure. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not biting you. He's trying to survive and he's got his teeth, you know, where they're being pressed into your leg, or you'll see those things. No, this one was very clear. It was just a round bite. And as soon as I saw it, because at first I was thinking Chris is going to take 1 point for holding the fence, 2 points for a bite, get them back together, and then I saw the bite. Go, he's going to DQ.
Oh.
And it's one of those. Many times I have had instances where I'll actually go to the person that gets, bit, and say, "Tell me now, do you want a chance to go punch him in the face? Let me know." And they'll say, "Yep." And I say, "Okay, I'll give it to you." And then I'll take, so many, a lot of points away, and, make it to where the fight can continue. Or, in this case, a DQ was the right call.
Did you do the Wes Sims and Mike Kyle fight?
No.
Okay. There was a bite in that, wasn't there?
No, that was a press.
Oh, that was a press?
That was one of those where it was pressed on there. And Wes Sims had a couple of them. He had one, God, I'm trying to remember the other one, where he tried to say he was being bit. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll get them. It's one of those you look at and you go, hey, if I can say that someone truly bit you, I'll get rid of them.
Yeah.
I'll disqualify them. And then that was the right call to make. The disqualification was, hey, you have proven with this one act that you're not a professional. Jeez. You can't hold your shit together. You can't freaking follow the rules. I'm going to take away your ability to even get a chance to be out here. And so, the other part of that is Dana cut him.
I know.
And that was the right move.
It was the right
move by Dana.
It was. But I mean, here's the thing. Can you imagine working that hard to get to where
Hold it. Josh, this comes down to no different than anything in life for anyone. Mm-hmm. We make decisions.
Oh, I was not justifying
it. And with those decisions come consequences based upon them. Because, see, that act of him biting, because it wasn't a position where he was put in and someone was squeezing him.
Yeah.
He was putting his head in there just to bite. That was absolutely, he thought about it. He did it. And you look and you go, I hope you understand how bad a decision that was.
He'll never fight the UFC again.
No.
I mean, he's young. I would really like to see. I mean, he looked good. I didn't think he was winning the fight. I had him losing, but I thought he looked good.
It was right there.
He was right there.
It was close. Yeah.
I had him losing the fight, but I was like, man, you're not out of this fight. And so as I'm watching, I had to watch it after. I didn't watch it live. And I'm like, when's there a reason for you to bite this guy? When? Like you're doing well. Like you're one punch away from taking this fight away from him. I couldn't believe it. How can you click on him, Dave, and see how old he is? I hope it's a lesson learned because I can't imagine 25 years old, 20. Oh, 20.
No. 20.
Yeah, 20 for the biter.
20 for the biter. 20 for the biter.
Did you hold it? Man. Did you see what Silva did? Because Dana went and gave him a bonus, right? Mm-hmm. And so did you see the tattoo?
It's amazing.
He got a tattoo that says, I got a fucking bite bonus.
Awesome.
That's
the greatest. I hope that tattoo artist washed that space before he fucking gave him the tat.
I love it.
But I just didn't see any reason. That was one. And not that there is one ever. But I understand when someone's clamping down on you and you know, it's like, okay, like my mouth is open when you sometimes catch it.
Yeah.
I get it. But at 20 years old, the biter's 20 years old. Come on, man. I mean, I would hope because he's good. He looked good.
Yeah, the kid is good.
Like I said, I had him losing the fight, but he was looking pretty good. Let me ask you this, though. Where do you compare this to someone like a Paul Daly for punching Josh Koscheck after the fight? How do you compare the two?
It's hard to compare the two as far as, where they're at in their careers, because that's part of, Paul Daly had enough fights to where you look and you go, Paul, when that bell goes off at the end, it's over. You don't get a freebie. you're too much of a professional. You've been in this game too long. You know that things are going to happen. It's the same thing that's going to happen to Severino there. What do you think the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to fine him? How much did he make for that fight?
Maybe 10 and 10.
And when you get disqualified, guess where all of your money goes? It goes to the commission. They're going to hold on to it and decide if they're going to give you any of it.
Wow.
So he's not getting paid.
Wow.
This is part of a disqualification means you're not getting paid. Okay.
But Paul,
you don't get
Paul
that
waited
show
till
money
after the fight.
Yeah.
Well, now, can I ask you?
He didn't get disqualified.
But had he won the fight and got up and still did that, would he been DQ'd? Or would it just go to a no contest?
No, it wouldn't have done anything. There would have been something afterwards. That would have been for Dan Murgalata. Mm-hmm. No? Okay, let's hold on. I want you to think about this. The fight.
Yeah.
As soon as the bell sounds in that last round, okay, and the fight's over, okay? The fight is being scored. What he does afterwards now has nothing to do with the fight per se. It has to do with punishment from the commission. Okay? They can take his win away. Okay? They can sit there and the commission itself, meeting says, we're going to take that win away and make it a no contest. They can do that. But they can't do it at that moment. Okay? Does that kind of make sense?
No, it absolutely does make sense. It does.
It's the end of the fight. You can say it's unsportsmanlike. It was, but as unsportsmanlike, we have that as a foul. Those fouls happen between the time of the fight. Once the fight's over with, there's no foul to give him. It's part of the commission deciding what's going to happen.
I get it. I just look at him and I'm like, man, hopefully you can stay active and whatever and come back, because he looks like a really good fighter from what I saw.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think I'm into second chances, and especially at 20 years old. It's got I'm into
agree.
second chances.
I'm 100% behind Dana in what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right move. Okay. And, I did not hear Dana said he'll never be back in the UFC. I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah. Remember the kid from the Tough finale, not the Tough show that kicked the window out of the limousine, Jesse Taylor?
Oh yeah.
He came back, didn't he?
I think, for one. Yeah. He really didn't come
Let me
back.
just tell you this. Randy Couture came back.
Yeah.
BJ Penn came back.
Jesse Taylor fought everywhere. Everywhere. That dude fought all over the world. I refereed that dude in Russia and Australia. Everywhere.
Gotta make ends meet.
All right. We had Michael Parkin going up against Mohammed Usman. Did you watch this fight?
No, I did not.
Okay, you did not. I did.
Okay.
And it was amazing to me because Aljamain Sterling actually says, am I crazy? He says that was, Muhammad got robbed. And I'm thinking, how did that? Third round, I had it even going into the third round. I thought Muhammad Usman won the first round. He kept going back to the same punch combination. He kept on trying to use a Superman punch throughout that. After a while, Parkin was just reading, and he was not touching it.
Yeah.
And it was the whole point of, in the third round, if you go back and watch that round, Usman threw a lot of shots. Very few touched. Very few. He missed so many shots, and the leg kicks started to buckle him and everything from Parkin. I thought Parkin won the third round, and it was Usman was active. He was busy. He was trying. He wasn't connecting.
Yeah.
You got to connect. So
yeah, makes sense. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. Let's go ahead and jump into our Bellator talk. But before we do that, go to onlyfans.com/weighing-in, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. We're coming up. I'm going to do one more live, probably, maybe two more, but one more live for sure before the end of the month. Wanted to get that one in for you guys. And but we're going to run right into this. Corey Anderson versus Carl Moore. John, I got to be honest, man. I thought Carl Moore fought a lot better than I was
Way
giving
better.
him credit for.
Way
I
better.
thought Corey was going to run away with this thing. And it was
I thought that Corey would run away by making Carl tired. There was no way in the world I thought Carl Moore had the endurance, because I've seen Carl fight before. He's a big dude, very strong, powerful. I said, look, he's going to be able to stop a lot of what Corey does early with strength. It's just that's going to start to fatigue him, and that's when the problems will start. Man, I'll tell you what, he freaking was in shape. He did not get tired at all. He was looking good going into the 5th round. He just, in the end, it was the one thing we talked about. He couldn't stop the wrestling of Corey Anderson. And that was the difference maker. He just could not stop Corey from taking him down.
When you're in these positions and you're pressed against the fence and the single leg, double leg, whatever it is, you got to stop punching. Focus on defending the takedown.
Defend the damn takedown.
Once you get a wide enough stance, once their hands are making sure their hands are not locked, now start doing some damage.
Yeah.
But like Corey was in some good spots, and Carl was not taking the opportunities to like push the head down, lift the head up, put the shoulder under the chin, whatever it was to defend the takedown. And I'm just like, look, I'm going, man, I know Corey's good. I know Corey's not going to get tired, but Carl, you could help yourself a lot, in the way of trying to get to this title. And
I'll tell you, I'm being honest. Corey looked as tired as I've seen him. He pressed hard, and it's the first time I've seen an opponent that Corey was able to out wrestle looking better than Corey as far as cardiovascular at the end of the fight.
Corey took some big shots early in the fight too.
Yeah, he did.
That head kick had him on stilts for a second.
Ooh,
he was doing the fucking Zab judo a little bit.
It was a nice armbar attempt by Carl Moore also, man. That armbar, the fence did not help him in being able to, get himself to pull back and arch the hips the same way. And that helped Corey get away from him. But overall, I give Carl Moore a lot of credit in that fight. I thought he looked really good. And yeah, it's a loss, but I actually think he elevates himself.
Absolutely.
With the performance.
Yeah. I got to be honest. We sat on the show here on Tuesday, and I was like, I don't know if Carl Moore's going to get to the 4th round. I thought Corey for sure was going to be able to grind him out on the top position and then land some nasty ground and pound after rounds 3 and 4. I was wrong.
Yeah. I would have said the same thing, going into it, it's one of those, I was, working the fight, just, doing the little blips there for things that were happening. And I was, normally they'll ask me stuff, and they didn't ask me. And so I was like, I didn't have to say, anything about, what, I thought of the matchup. And I'm talking with the producer in the back. And it was like, well, I would have been wrong, because I would have said, I think Corey will have him out of here 3rd round.
But I feel like the fight of the night stole the show was Patricio Pitbull versus Jeremy Kennedy.
Patricio Frede. Man, I'll tell you what, Jeremy Kennedy was taking over that fight. Now, I did say something that was absolutely true that happened in this fight. If people were watching it,
do you normally lie when you tell people stuff on here? I'm just asking. Just want to clarify.
Well, it was one of those, a very veteran move by Pitbull, and people were at the end of the 2nd round. He got hit with a groin shot, right, and he was taking a lot of time. And and they finally came to me and said, why would he take so much time? And I said, it's not so much look, he's got the time to take. It's a veteran move by a seasoned champion fighter that he realizes Jeremy Kennedy's momentum is going in this right now, and he's let me just slow it down. I'm just going to stall this out, let his momentum settle down. And then we'll get back to fighting, but I'm not going to let him go back in while he's hot and I'm having a problem. He's going to take his time. And that's what he did. And it worked, and this is smart fighting, and it's smart decision-making by Pitbull.
If you guys didn't watch last weekend's show, we had a segment within the show where we talked about the difference between an eye poke and a groin shot. And you clarified exactly this position. Groin shots is the only one where fighters control the time. for up to the 5 minutes. Whereas an
Yeah,
eye poke is,
exactly.
okay, look, are you clear? Can you see? Yeah, I can see. Okay, get ready to fight. And obviously refs in your position that understand that, you try to give them a little bit more time by saying, make sure you
Sure.
can clear, am I good looking? I know I'm not.
Yeah.
So, this type of thing. I get
So-
it. See, I do listen to you. I want to make sure everyone
See,
understands.
but you wouldn't be able to give that line. See, it wouldn't work.
No, I'd have to say, of course I'm good looking. Do I have the best jawline in the business? Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you see standing before you the best jawline
Absolutely.
of any referee out there?
Oh,
All right, you can
yeah,
fight.
you can fight. Yeah, you answered it exactly what happened. Like for him, it was about a momentum swing. Taking
Absolutely.
away the momentum from Jeremy Kennedy, letting him sit for a second and just reevaluating, okay, how do I reapproach this fight? He's well rested now. I'm not into a groove. He's, I have the rhythm of what I'm doing. Now that rhythm is gone. Now I've got to step back in. We're both kind of fresh. It's almost like it's actually long. It's a lot more than having a minute break.
Well, you got to figure, look, he took 4 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes,
Yeah.
had 12 seconds of fighting and then another minute.
Yeah.
So basically a 5-minute rest. They're both fresh.
They're fresh. Exactly. It's
But that's
a whole different approach.
But when you're starting to lose control in the fight, it's a good thing to take and take that momentum away from someone if you can.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to because Jeremy hit him with the groin shot. It was a smart move by Patricio.
Yeah. Good stuff. Look, Jeremy Kennedy I think he's going to be the future just right now. I think Jeremy's tough, man. Jeremy's going to be one of those guys.
He is tough.
He's gonna find like a Pico. Pico's gonna be next for Patricio.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fucking fight.
Oh.
Look, if I do remember Scott Coker talking about for a long time, like, I think my end game is to have Pico versus Patricio. Two great fighters, the legend, the young up and coming guy. Like that's the fight that,
Oh, sure.
the boxing of Pico, the power of Patricio. I mean, it just makes sense. The wrestling of Pico, the submission game of Patricio. It's gonna be a good.
Come
fight.
on, I got a smile on my face
I
already
know.
just thinking about the fight because you look at it and you go, "Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Things just don't get any easier when you're the champ,
Nope.
man."
I'm getting a hard on. All right. Fabian Edwards versus Aaron Jeffrey.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Fabian Edwards absolutely showed me a ton in this fight because I'm not going to say I thought he fought the smartest fight for him, but man, he fought a tough, grimy, just absolutely exhausting fight against Aaron Jeffrey. And man, he was there for the whole thing. He still was able to land shots when he wanted at times, got back into where he was actually looking for takedowns. He was initiating the clinch at times. Fabian Edwards has really, risen in his ability to be a complete fighter. Because at one time when we were watching him, he was a stand-up fighter. He was just like his brother, and he is doing the same thing that his brother did is, he is showing that, hey, I can do everything in MMA now. I can stop the takedown. I can get the takedown, and with his length of his arms, because he's got a 79-inch reach, for a middleweight, that's tough. And you watch Aaron Jeffries many times trying to put him down, and he posts that arm out. It's like, he doesn't look like he's even gone down at all, man. You look and you go, that's a bitch. And it is, if you're Aaron Jeffries, it's a bitch. I really think Aaron Jeffries is a top-notch fighter. I think he's super good. I think he's tough as hell. I think in this fight, he just ended up with a guy that athletically was able to withstand all of that grind that Aaron Jeffrey put on and still land some really good shots. Because by the end, Aaron Jeffries was looking a little touched. He got some shots put on him and stuff. Tough fight, but Fabian Edwards absolutely showed heart, grit, the whole thing in this. And now he gets another shot at Johnny Eblen.
I think it's too
Lucky
soon.
him. Yeah, so do I.
We just saw the fight recently. I know the PFL fans saw it because majority of them are all Bellator fans. So I mean, like basically, they saw what happened. Look, Aaron Jeffries, I feel like won the first round. He was starting to win the second round, but where he made the mistake was he thought that Fabian was going to get tired, and he kept putting careless pressure, walking forward, throwing shots. And the fight turned after he took that big nasty elbow and cut his eye. And after that, he wasn't the same fighter. Things just started shifting. That's all it takes for a momentum shift. Then Aaron just kept trying to push forward, trying to showcase that, I'm not hurt, I can keep doing it. But in the process was taking more shots. And had he moved his head offline and fought a little bit more conservative and, either stayed all the way out or kind of worked his way in a little bit better instead of just running in carelessly, I think he would have ended up winning the fight. He just, that second round got away from him. And then after that, the third round was quick and easy. Like in terms of Fabian was able to just do what he wanted, touch him. And he came down to that second round and how the momentum shift early in the second round with the big elbow. But overall, good fight. James Gallagher, Leandro Higo. I expected a lot more out of this fight.
Yeah, so did I. I agree with you. There was a lot of respect between the two,
But this has always been my take. When people don't like each other, I don't want to see them fight. I know it sounds good in theory. They're the crappiest fights.
Because they don't want to lose. It's one of those, they're afraid of losing, and so I got to be careful. I thought Leandro Higo had the difference in this fight. Higo hits harder.
Yeah.
He had a little more snap on his shots. I think Gallagher had his moments where he was doing well in the fight. Higo had his moments, but overall, Higo landed the heavier shots.
Especially from the top when he was from the ground and pound.
Absolutely. So, but, good win by Higo. Gallagher's, he's going to have to figure out, what he needs to do as far as upping his volume. He's got to up the volume.
Absolutely. Manuel Sosa versus Tim Wilde.
Okay, so this is one I will tell you I was absolutely right in. I told the producer, I said this is going to surprise people. I said Tim Wilde is gonna win this fight as long as Sousa doesn't knock him out in the first round. And they go, really? Sousa hits really hard? I said, look, he does. I said, but Tim Wilde is going to just move and touch him and just keep on. I said, he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
I said, as long as he can make it through the first round, I said, Tim Wilde's going to win this fight. And I looked like an expert throughout the whole thing because then he knocked him out in the first round right at the end. I was like, man, that's the punch that we were talking about.
Dave, pull up Manuel Sousa. He's suing the PFL. Did you hear about that? He's suing the PFL. Look up his name. Yeah, he's got a lawsuit against the PFL because apparently the PFL kept him from doing the Dana White Contender Series.
Oh.
I'm like,
okay.
That's not a good look.
From June last year.
Huh? Did he have
from June last year?
Last year? Yeah.
So his PFL after a company stopped him from fighting at Dana White Contender.
Well, was he under contract to the
Must
PFL?
have been if they stopped him.
Well, what's he suing for?
I don't know.
What does he think? When you decide to sign that contract, it's like you can't just go and fight until the contract's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's important to have a good manager.
Yeah.
So he said he won a bloody 3-round fight and was offered another match in PFL Challenger Series 2 weeks later, but had to turn down after testing positive for COVID-19. He believed to be a free agent, but later discovered he was still tied to PFL when an offer came from Dana White to fight on August 15th. They put me as a backup, but that wasn't my goal. I told them I wouldn't do it. I train really hard every single day. I live in the gym, and I'm chasing my dreams. My dream is to fight in the UFC, and Dana White's Contender offer came. They want to keep me locked. I thought I was free to fight anywhere else, but that wasn't the case.
Well, that's your management, buddy. Your management should have explained to you what the deal was.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of information right now going around in terms of like the contracts for the PFL and with their tournament series stuff. So there's a lot of fighters that are trying to get that all sorted out going into this tournament series. So they've been talking about it, but I'm going to wait to say anything about it until I know more about it. In terms of what I know every fighter's contract is different on what they get paid and how they negotiate and what their manager does for them.
Well, I saw that Eric Mandrikin, who's an attorney up in Canada I've done stuff with, he's a really good guy. And he put out the PFL's contract recently for the season. And it talks about your first fight, how much you make, and then everything. Because it's like that last fight, it's not that you, and again, this is different for everyone, but if you're just like, the new guy coming in, you're whatever you won throughout those 3 fights, that goes against what you're going to make as far as that $1 million.
Yeah.
In the last fight, you don't get, it's not like Bellator has the bantamweight tournament, light heavyweight tournament, heavyweight tournament, whatever it is. And at the end, the fighter gets $1 million check
On top of their fight purses.
On top of their fight purse.
Yeah. For some of them, it was a lot.
Yeah. Well, the PFLs is put into the entire complexity of the season. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Any other fights on here you wanted to chat about?
Yeah, I want to say Syrian Clark looked fantastic again. He's getting better and better. We've watched him too many times. He just puts the fight where he is good and, just takes over. Nathan Kelly had a phenomenal elbow. It was just
decapitating.
But I want to say that Abraham Babley, Isaiah Pinson comes from the States here. He works out in Vegas. He's a good up-and-coming heavyweight. And Abraham Babley, who is only 5'8", 5'9", 257 pounds, does not get tired, will throw his hands, can wrestle. He's good. He's fun to watch. I've watched him before, and I thought this might be a tough fight for him. He dominated the fight. He's fun to listen to, and he's fun to watch fight. So he's kind of like the MMA version of Mike Tyson.
I'm 5'10", man, 180, 178. Yeah. Come on, man. This guy's 5'8", 5'9", 2 something. Get the hell out of here.
257.
That's disgusting.
That's what he weighed in at.
I hate guys with muscles.
He's got, and it's all his legs and his ass are just.
Yeah. I got a big ass. I don't have big legs.
Yeah,
I got chicken legs, man. Well, squeaky ass chicken legs. All right, Dave, you got anything else for us?
Let's look at a couple of these stories.
Okay.
Stories here. First one is
we talked about that one.
Ronda Rousey putting out comments about
she wrote another book.
Good for her.
Hold on, what was the first one was, what was it called? Oh damn, I can't think. My Fight. Ronda Rousey, My Fight. And now it's Our Fight.
So the first one was My Fight?
My Fight, Your Fight. Now this one's Our Fight.
She said that she had to retire from MMA because of concussions, like the state of that situation, and but she just never talked about it during her MMA career because she didn't want to put a target on her head. And so I just thought that was interesting. Obviously everyone kind of thought the Nunes fight is what, just the state of her career at that point. But she does say, I'd like people to understand my reasons and motivations behind things. I was forced to leave fighting when I was faster, stronger, more skilled, and had better understanding of the art than ever before. It was a really hard decision to understand, one that my body made for me. And she goes on to kind of just talk about the how it happened, like judo and all that. But yeah, just interesting that's what she's saying, is that she was at the best she ever was around that time of the Nunes fight. And the Nunes fight isn't what led her to leave. So it's interesting.
I would kind of disagree. Okay, no, maybe I won't disagree. She probably was the best she ever was, but the talent caught up to her.
Yeah.
And now I don't think that's any fault of her own. I think that's actually, she was so consumed by the obligations of being who she was, whether it was movie stuff, whether it was PR stuff, that I'm not sure she was able to, maybe she was the best she ever was, but she wasn't able to dedicate the amount of time she was when she was a young, hungry fighter, a young, hungry judoka. Like, that is something people they can't seem to wrap their head around how much all athletes give away to living their dream. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've missed, cousins' weddings, birthdays, grandparents, like all different types of things, like real important family stuff. And John, you and I have talked about this. you've said that, from your work, from traveling, from being a ref and everything, like there's things that you missed in your life that you wish you could go back. And if you could go back, there's things you would be like, yeah, I'm not doing that show. Yeah, I'm not doing that,
Right.
And but the things that we drive towards making goals, and it's tough, man. Like I waited to have kids until I was almost done, just because of how important it was for me to try to be as good as I possibly could be, and understanding that I didn't want to be a halfway parent. I wanted to be an all-in parent. And that's what the difference is I wanted to make sure that I was at every soccer game. I was at every practice. I was, I was available. I was present. In this day and age, that's very rare. And so it was important for me to be that way. Also, on a selfish side, I also wanted, to make sure that I gave myself every chance I could to be the best or be as good as I possibly could be. I'm very happy and content with my career, what I did in my life. And the reason being is because fighting is a very selfish sport. It's not a team sport where I can come in one day and like have an off day and my team can carry me and we can still get a win.
That's right.
Like my team's not out there fighting for me. And that's, you got as much as you wish they would sometimes, like if I get
mine coming in here right now, I'm not doing well.
Throw a heavyweight in there. Let me give you a Cain Velasquez, right? Tag team. Yeah. But it doesn't work that way. And so I found myself, waiting to have kids, and I'm very grateful that I did, because now, like I said, you can be dedicated to those times, and that's important.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, I knew Ronda before she was fighting. I did Ronda's first pro fight. I did her last pro win. I did a lot of her fights and stuff, and I will tell you, there was so much going on with Ronda. Before her fight with Holly Holmes, so many things going on, and you look and you go, nobody can put the effort into training that they need to put in with all the media and all the special things going on and the Ellen shows and all these things they were all good for Ronda. They were good for the UFC, but it takes a toll. And that toll is you don't get to that same level, and your abilities start to just, maybe not every time you do a camp. The reason you do a fight camp is you're taking and you're elevating yourself all the way through that camp to get to that pinnacle point before the fight that you're the best that you can be. And that's what a training camp is for. When you've got everything else happening around you and you're having all these, arrows going in different ways, and you've got to follow each one, and you got to handle this, and you got to do this, and over here, and then over there, you can't focus on what got you there, and it happens to everyone, happens in different ways. But, Ronda was a huge star for the UFC. Nothing against Holly, but trust me, the UFC did not want Holly Holmes to win that fight. That was not the way they wanted it, because Ronda was doing things for him, and it took a toll. And she talks about the whole thing with the judoka and the concussions from being a judoka. You're going to when you are getting thrown all the time. I always say judo's probably the hardest martial art there is, if you're going to talk about what people consider martial arts. It and wrestling, because I consider wrestling a martial art, they're the two hardest. And judo is tougher on your body with the throws that you're taking all the time and time again, that you're letting somebody do. And it only takes one person to do it extra hard on one, and you land a little bit hard. Your body, it absorbs it, it takes it, and you end up paying the price for it. So I can see where the concussions happen with the judo too, but then going to the WWE isn't going to help. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
because those falls off of the ropes and stuff. Your head coming down, all those. There's a lot of concussions in professional wrestling, even though it's predetermined.
Yeah. It's all fake news. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right. Walt Harris suspended for 4 years. Test positive for 2 different violations.
Career's over.
Career's over. 40 years old right now. 44 before he can come back. I don't care if a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Done. I feel bad for Walt. I don't know what he did, but
I can tell you what he did. He cheated.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Very nicely put.
I mean, sorry. Like,
Yeah.
4 years is a lot.
Yeah.
But two banned substances doesn't mean that you were trying to hide it.
No, well, it definitely means you were not good at
Yeah.
hiding it. Yeah. So,
Look, I like him as a fighter. I think he's probably a really good person. This is what you'll find out is that athletes, when they're younger and they're in their prime, they don't feel the need to use them. But then as they get older, you start seeing them start trying to change their ways a little bit. And that I've seen it in people in hockey. I've seen it in people in football. I've seen it in athletes and boxers. A lot of boxers that I know that, like, as they started to get older, they started changing it. They started like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm like, look, your body's telling you shouldn't be fighting then. Your body's telling you, you either got to take care of yourself a little bit better, or you've got to get ready to start thinking about retirement. That's what the bottom line is. That's a mechanism. Age is a mechanism to remind you that it's almost time. That your body can't take much more of this damage, otherwise it's going to get worse. So that's something that all these guys should be thinking about.
Yeah, well, hopefully people see that and go, okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake.
All right, is there anything else, Dave?
We'll wrap up there.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much. Make sure you guys subscribe to us down below. And there's also a Clips channel. You guys, there's a link down below in there. You guys can subscribe to us there too. Go to WeighingInMerch.com, pick up some of our hoodies, our shirts, our sweaters, our long sleeves, all this sweatshirts, and our and everything available there, hats and everything. So I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. And please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell and the thumbs up. And that gets and leave us a comment down below. I love reading the comments. John doesn't, but I do. All right, John, take us away, bud.
Hey, for everyone out there, hope you enjoyed the fights like we did. And do us a favor. Hit that subscribe. We need it. Thank you very much. See you.